Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a bench press day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos. Please remember to click like down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. Alright, few points here. Number one, I went on low carbs this weekend. It's definitely impacting my training a little as I get used to it, but again, making that final bit of fat loss and weight loss that I need to make before regionals. And again, I have to be some adjustments with my diet, the way I bulk and cut, moving forward to keep the weight down. And I may go with a similar type approach to where I focus more on protein and fats, right? And I may do that when I go back to bulk a little bit and put muscle back on, but I have to get used to it again. And by the way, I was doing low carbs for a little while going into that event. People didn't realize that necessarily, but I was on maybe 50 grams of carbs a day walking into that event. But I had been doing it for several weeks and I was already, kind of adapted to the higher fat. So I can work with it well, but I have to be used to it. And I overshot my abilities today. I went over with really wide grip benching to see how my shoulders feel on the warming up, and my shoulders feel great. I missed the lockout. I couldn't lock the third rep on this. I did pauses. Again, a little slower off the chest than I'd like. Second rep felt pretty good, so I'm like, let me go for a third, and I couldn't lock it. Now, people say, is it tricep? No, it was all chest. So doing this wider grip bench, this works the most muscles, but it is more chest dominant. And my pecs were just fighting. Again, notice I always set my safeties very carefully. I think these things through ahead of time. I know exactly where my safeties need to be, so it shows you what happens if we do miss a rep. No problem. But, performance has been down a little this week, and it's expected. I knew that. I was psychologically prepared for this, by the way. And that's something I've made posts explaining. I was prepared for this. Now, I decided, look, I need to work with the wide grip. I had said before, this is really the way I need to go. I was just going to mess with closed grip for a day or so to make sure my shoulder felt good now that I took overhead pressing out. And you know what? All of this felt great on my shoulder, but my chest was just so pumped from all of it. Ran out of steam so quick that when I went to do my back off work, I couldn't even get tens past the first couple sets with the weight. Reduced weight, struggled. Reduced weight again, struggled. After dropping weight down, my last set of 10 ended up being only like 6. So we've got some work capacity to work on, but here's the thing. This is going to build my chest up. And like I told you guys, I'm going to go with what I know has worked for some of my clients, what I know works. Focus heavy on recovery and just quality training because I do too much volume. Historically, particularly for benching. And not enough just nice, good, wide grip benching. So my pecs are weak link though. I can tell here when I do this. This is what's limiting me. Obviously, everything needs to come up. When I say that, that doesn't mean my triceps, my small ass triceps don't need to get bigger. But the benching alone and all the pressing, if I recover from it, will help. So today, though, I went with the wide grip benching. And what I'm going to have to do is build work capacity off this stuff. So I'm going to do 5x10s after the heavy work each time. On my classic lifts on their own day, we're going to do pull-ups all days. Right? Pull-ups and abs are going to be done every workout. So no one can really call it a true bro split because we do pull-ups every day. Train our core every day. But on the benching days, I'm going to have to eventually add a second press, and it's going to be based on weak links. And that's the way this training is going to work. We do our heavy work, then we do our light work. Heavy work, then light work. And then, any supplemental work that we need. And we can't go crazy on the supplemental. So because my pecs are definitely the weak link, what would be the obvious answer? Because we want a lift that's complementary. And that's kind of the way I'm going to go with this whole org mode system, is that lifts need to be complementary with each other. They need to be complementary. And so I need a press as the main assistance for the benching. And I'm always going to do a little bit of arm work. I've realized I probably always need some arm work in because my arms just genetically are smaller than my torso. It's just my structure. I have a big rib cage and I have long, thin arm bones. So, so I did some curls yesterday on deadlift day, and the bench day I'm going to do some band press downs. Right? We're doing band press downs. And I did 2 sets of really high reps on these. And that's probably a lot of what I'm going to do to, again, keep the elbows healthy. But if we look at what would be the best thing for pecs, well, either dumbbell work or decline work. I may start with dumbbell stuff for a while because I feel like dumbbells bring a lot to the table for hypertrophy. I've made videos explaining why, particularly as a second lift. But if my delts were lagging on that bench, what would we be looking at? We'd be looking at incline or overhead press. Now, I know the overhead press isn't suited to my structure. It just aggravates my shoulders no matter what I do, as much as I love the lift. And you know what? It doesn't matter. It's not a contested lift. People only care about your big three anyways. They really do. Like, testing other lifts to show off is usually a cope. It's a way to mask your big three at the end of the day. It really is. So, and not that I fully place the press in that category, but it's certainly not really a true contested lift. Right? Because even in strength lifting, they don't do a strict press. They do this weird cheating press called the Press 2.0. So what do we do after that? Knocked out pull-ups. Now, when I go to the 3-day-a-week squat, bench, deadlift day, I'll probably do 5 sets again on all the days. But because I'm doing them on off days, and I had 4 training days this week, I did 3 sets yesterday, 4 today. That still puts me like 20 sets for the week. And that's going to be kind of the goal. I want to get about 20 sets of pull-ups in, the majority of them being wide grip pull-ups, but I can have some underhand chin-ups and stuff in there. I think especially if I do a few sets of curls, that will be enough. Maybe deadlift day we'll consider doing chins. But pull-ups, wide grip pull-ups on the other days, and definitely when I test, kind of reps first thing in the morning for a kind of just one set to see where I'm at, I'm probably going to stick with the wide grip pull-ups. I feel like they bring more to the table. Should probably do videos explaining why. But, so again, this workout's going to be indicative of what we're going to see in the future, other than I'm going to have to build work capacity up. I'm going to have to get used to the lower carbs. And then once calories come up and I'm no longer cutting, we can build work capacity a bit and get a bit more volume so that we're in, that 10 to 12 quality working sets per muscle on the main training day for those muscles. Right, because that's what we want, and I'm giving back and stuff a little bit more. And the band press downs for triceps, I might do a few on off days and stuff, just to get blood flow to the triceps, keep the tendons healthy. And then mostly outside of that, though, just let the pressing. And if I get stronger at pressing, and I will now that my shoulder is healthy, and I'm realizing, look, I can't do silly stuff. Let's just bench. Let's just do pull-ups. Let's do the things that feel good on my shoulder, because the wide grip benching doesn't bother it these days. Now that I've been doing the pull-ups with the wide grip, it seems to have really built my shoulder to be resilient to it, unlike certain things like overhead pressing and stuff, which it doesn't help. So we're good. And then we finish off with 3 sets of hanging leg raises. And like I said, the performance today on the strength was down. I know that's going to be the case. I've accepted that. I'm living with that. My strength is going to tank a little bit as I get close to 200. Once we get used to being down around 200, and then I can gain just small amounts of weight, it's going to skyrocket back up off muscle memory. And I need to focus on building the muscle where I need it correctly to get my lifts up, while being a lot leaner. And yeah, we're going to end up being real lean within the next year. If I keep bulking and cutting down and staying close to 200, I'm going to probably end up being shredded. And it is what it is. And I'll be competitive in my weight class. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.